Psychiana Lesson 10, August the 20th, 1930. This is the last lesson. It finishes the course. One could write several books of each of the 10 lessons sent to you, and then not begin to fathom the depths that are hidden beneath every one of these wonderful lessons. As this course closes, you must realize that you have had the very best I have. You must pay no attention to the phraseology. Forget that. Just live in the knowledge of the living God, as this course of instruction has revealed him to you. If you will do that, you can safely leave the rest of this great life spirit himself. No, you can safely leave the rest to this great life spirit himself. This is the lesson in which you are to learn how to take from the great God the things that you need in this life. And again, the method so long clothed in mystery and superstition is easy. It is the method given by Jesus 2,000 years ago, and so I pass it along to you. I dare not put my own interpretation on a matter as fundamental as this one. Neither do I dare change his formula, one jot or tittle. The method as given by Jesus actually works and actually brings into manifestation the things desired. And this being the case, I should be very foolish to attempt to intrude any ideals of my own, when such a master of spiritual things as he was spake the simple, plain, untarnished manner in which they might be obtained. But the formula as given by Jesus, as has nearly every other vital truth he spoke, has been shrouded in mystery and superstition until it is a stumbling block. Human interpretation after human interpretation has put upon it until today the very simplicity of the truth has been utterly missed because it is written so plainly. Those who would interpret these words of Jesus to the multitude are saying, in effect, of course, this is not to be taken literally. You know, that couldn't be. Well, in the name of God, I ask them, why should not the statements of this great Christ be taken literally? They were written literally. He said nothing about their not being taken literally. On the other hand, time and time again, he witheringly denounced the church members of that day for not believing him. And the only way you can ever believe in Jesus is to believe exactly what he says, exactly as he said it. The very moment you begin to interpolate another meaning to the words of the Master, just that moment do you make them of no effect. What it is that was said so many years ago, making the Word of God of no effect through your traditions. Now let us look at the statement of the Galilean carpenter and see if we cannot find out just exactly how to ask for it and obtain the very things we need right here and now. In Mark's Gospel, chapter 11, verse 34, we find the remarkable statement of the Master, which reads as follows, and is the answer to your question as to how you are going to get the things you need and desire. Therefore, I say unto you, whatsoever things you desire when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you shall have them. Could it be put more simply than that? I do not see how. Of course, as I have before explained to you, the human race has been steeped in superstition regarding the things of the living God for so long now that belief of any sort is almost impossible. But you who have been studying these lessons and doing the exercises prescribed will not have so much trouble in believing the living God, for the exercises I gave you, as you will now understand, were for the express purpose of teaching you how to have faith in this living God. I have already said to you that belief itself is the answer to prayer, and that prayer is only desire. Then it must be a fact that the great thing to obtain is belief or faith. I am satisfied that you, by this time, have had more or less faith in the living God manifested in your life through the exercises prescribed. Now, at this point, do not make the mistake of thinking that faith is developed in you. Such is an utter impossibility, and is 1,000,000 miles from the truth. Jesus said that faith was a gift of God, and so it is. you could try to develop faith from now till the crack of doom, and when it cracked you would still be without faith. Now, how are you to get it? What was it I said to you about the belief of faith being its own answer? Listen to me, my friend. By no act of your own could you ever possibly have faith in the living God, because, as we have seen, you are alienated from Him by the disobedience of your two foreparents. There's only one thing left to do in order to get the faith necessary to remove mountains, as He said. And what is that? Well, you certainly will never get it by thinking about it, but you will get it by continually asserting to be an actual fact the thing you most desire. It is a pity that the world is so sunken in gross unbelief that affirmations of faith are necessary at all in order to bring that faith. In the future, it will not be so much as it is now, for men and women are believing this living God more and more every day. But until the day comes when the race as a whole has faith in the living God, then it will be necessary for you and me to affirm constantly that we believe a certain thing, in order that the actual real faith necessary to the actual manifestation of that needed thing may come. And the living God being immutable law, then it follows that whatsoever you affirm to be a fact and believe to be a fact will be a fact. Belief is the law that is the result of itself, in itself. The living God cannot lie, neither will He fool you, so never doubt Him on that score. Any failure to receive the things you need will not be failure on His part, for immutable law has already done its part and given you the very things you desire. There remains only one thing for you to do, and that is to take what this mighty, immutable, unchangeable, life-giving, living God has already given you. And literal belief is the one and only way to do that. Suppose, for instance, that you are suffering from some sort of sickness, although you should not be, if you have been faithful in your exercises, and you want the living God to heal you. You, of course, realize now that so far as He is concerned, you are already healed. There is not a single solitary thing more than He can do other than what He already has done to heal you. That is so because His words and He Himself are immutable law. He has already said, whatsoever things you desire when you pray, believe that you receive them and you shall have them. By no chain of circumstances could it ever be possible for that statement of the carpenters regarding the living God to be false. It is immutable law, and the very heavens would fall out of the sky before that statement could ever fail. So you see once again that the living God has, by the fact that He is the living God, given you already the healing that you so much desire.